Hey, it's Rick Dawson, and this is one of our favorite times of the year here in Lake County because in 2 days, everybody who hasn't paid off their tax lien is going to lose their property, and it's the perfect time to pick up properties dirt cheap. So I'm about to visit my friend Adam here, who has just started deed grabbing himself, and we're going to go over a case study of a great deal he did. So let's go see him now. This is actually a property that Adam picked up recently here that he's rehabbing, and can't wait to talk to him about some of the deed grabber deals that he's just done.
Yeah.
You know, actually when I got here, Adam's in the middle of doing a deal right on the phone as I was walking up to the house. And when there's 2 days left before a deadline, a major deadline like this, you're going to get more calls than you know what to do with if you've been sending letters and making some calls out.
I'm going to have to call her back.
Alright, well, sorry about that interruption there. Looks like Adam is working on another deal that he's got going. This is a house that he's in the middle of rehabbing right now, and we're going to find out exactly how he found this one. Looks like it's almost done. Looks like this one will, it's got some great appeal here and be selling it soon. So, Adam, how did you get this house that you're working on right now?
I was driving neighborhoods, looking at properties that I found for sale by owner, and I noticed this property was vacant. Did a little research on it, found out who the owner was. I wrote him a letter, and he contacted me, and we came to an agreement.
So this was your first deal that you did since you started to get back into real estate this year, right?
Yes. I was laid off first day of the year, first day into work, 2010. My job was taken away from me, and I looked for a job pretty hard for 2 months. Nothing was out there that I wanted to take and make a career out of right away. So I went into real estate full time, taking a big chance. I have a young family, and so far, so good. This was my first deal in that process.
So this is a pretty conventional deal. You just tracked the owner down. He wasn't really necessarily in tax trouble or anything. You just saw this place was looking pretty bad sitting here, and you just decided to rehab it, huh?
Right.
So around that time, we reconnected again. Adam's actually a college buddy of mine. Haven't been on that great of touch the last couple of years. But then you found out kind of what I've been doing around here, which is locating these owners who are really about to lose their property to tax sale. So how did that go for you getting started? What's the first thing you did after you read through some of the material that I gave you?
I read the book front to back probably 2 times. It gives you a step-by-step. It's a lot better than any of the books you'll find online. He tells you what to do from a guy who did it, which makes it a lot easier than someone who's actually just trying to sell an infomercial product. So I filed it. First thing I did was I went down to the courthouse and asked for all the properties that were sold at last year's treasurer's sale. Of course, they didn't have the list there ready for me, so I asked when I could come back and get it. They told me 2 days. Came back in 2 days. Of course, it wasn't ready, and I wasn't off to a great start. But once I finally got the list,
let's back up here a second. Now in Indiana, we have a tax lien system here, so that means almost a year ago to this day, they sold tax liens on a bunch of properties. And Adam, the list you were getting was the list of the property tax liens that were sold,
right,
but hadn't been paid off yet.
Right.
So from there, how'd you start contacting the people that were left?
First thing I did was I wrote everyone a letter, informing them that their home was sold at tax sale in case they did not know, and letting them know that I could be a solution to their problems. I offer them 2 different ways to contact me, either by phone or email, and I let those letters, I mailed all those letters out, and I broke up my list into sections, and I would send out 1 major section a week, and as I went, this first section that was maybe 2 weeks old, if I hadn't already been contacted by them, I would start to try to contact these people after I skip traced them all.
All right, and so one deal in particular we're going to go take a look at now. Tell me how that came down. I'm sure you started by sending a letter out.
Right, I sent the letter out, and I'd actually acquired one smaller property, and then I acquired this home here, and so I kind of got busy and just starting out, I was kind of trying to do a lot of the work myself, and I kind of got away from my tax sale list, and I finally kept on telling myself I got to get back and make some deals, and I called all these people, and apparently my letter did not go to the right address, even though the people had just moved, like a month prior. But through the skip tracing, I finally got a hold of the guy on his phone. I got his phone number and I called him.
And he was in Florida, was it?
He was living in Bradenton, Florida, and I contacted him. He was actually shopping with his wife at Walmart, and we had about a 15-minute conversation. He was not aware that the house had been sold at tax sale. His brother was supposed to be paying the taxes. They inherited the house from their father.
See?
And there was two brothers really who had interest in the home. The one brother was granted, the one brother that I was talking to was the executor of the will or the trust. The other brother that was living in the home was granted life estate of the property.
And that means he gets to live in that property as long as he's alive, but he's not technically an owner of that property. But
right.
If you're ever going to buy a property that has a life estate, you need to get a deed from that person as well.
Right.
So you cut a great deal with the brother living in Florida, but you had to track down the brother that
right.
was living in the house, and he was just kind of popping around town here, right?
Right. He was he was not really didn't have an address, a phone number. The brothers were not in contact, and I had to do my own private investigating work to try to track this guy down. From other, I guess he kept his mailing address of the house that had been vacant, according to the neighbors, for about a year and a half now. And so he'd come there, would ride his bicycle over there once or twice a week to check his mail. But after talking to the neighbors, I found out that he pretty much lived at a local establishment that serves beverages down the street.
See, that's what you got to do. You got to talk to the neighbors. If you hit a dead end, something like that, neighbors know a lot. I'll tell you that. That's the easiest thing to do.
Right.
So did you just hang out and have a beer every day till he showed up, or what?
No, I went in there, and I never ran into him there because I would go in there, during the day, but I did get leads on where he might be living. So finally, I went to these homes where I was told he might be living, and they were all dead ends. And I thought I was stuck. I had nothing. So my last resort was I just taped a big sign on the door, said, dear so and so, you're going to lose this house tax sale. If we act quickly, there might be some money in it. Something along those lines. Please give me a call as soon as possible. About a day or two later, I got a call from the missing brother, and about 3 days after that, I was able to close pretty much simultaneously with the brother in Florida and the brother that I found up here within the same hour, and able to go down and record the deed, and now it is a done deal.
All right, awesome. If you don't mind me asking, what did you have to pay each brother to get him to give it over to you?
The executor of the will wanted, we agreed to $5,000 for the purchase property of the house. It's up to him to distribute the money, but since he has no contact with the other brother and I required a signature, I took 1/4 of that money and gave it to the brother I found here in Indiana, and I sent a check for, I believe, $37.50 down to Florida.
All right, so $5,000 for that, and how much did it cost you to bail the taxes out? Because you decided to hang on to it past the redemption date. You wanted to just make sure it was bailed out.
Right.
Get a better price for it that way if you get a little more time, right?
Right. Yeah. I just 2 days ago, I just redeemed the property. That cost me, I believe, $8,006.
All right, let's go take a look at it, man.
Sure.
What do you think? All right,
let's go.
All right, be sure to check your email tomorrow for the next video installment we have. We're going to go over to the actual house that Adam purchased that we just talked about, and we're going to check it out, and then we're going to come back to the office. I'm going to show you exactly how I analyze what Adam's expected profit on that deal is going to be. And then in a couple days, we're going to look at a really exciting one that he was working on. You just saw it in that last video. I think he could make as much as 6 figures on that deal. We're going to analyze that one too. So we'll see you tomorrow.